Hi, Jim Van Zandt here, one of the pastors, Carlisle United Methodist Church, with Sermon in 3 Minutes. Last week was Mother's Day, and we celebrated all that you need to celebrate with that. I know in the church things have changed over the years. It used to be not too many years ago we would have celebrated the oldest mother, the youngest mother, the mother with the most children, but our sensitivities have widened in the church, and for good reason. There are many people who would love to be mothers but can't, or there are people who have bad relationships with their mothers, bad relationships with their children, and so forth. So the sensitivities have widened, and I've used the opportunity to talk about the influence of women in the scriptures. Last week we talked about Mark's story about Jesus' interchange with the Syrophoenician woman, which is an identification only of where she is from in the modern-day area of Lebanon. She was a Gentile. It was the first of 3 miracles that Jesus performed in what was called pagan territory, and it's also one of the healings Jesus does from afar. See, the woman had a daughter who was ill. You can read her story in Mark chapter 7. She comes to Jesus and asks him to heal her daughter who is possessed by a demon. And demons were often to blame for things today we would count as mental illness, emotional difficulty, spiritual illness, and those kinds of things today. Jesus' response is a little quizzical, at least for us, as he says, "Why should I do this for you? Isn't my message for the Jews first?" And she responds with that famous response about even the crumbs from underneath the children's tables would be enough to heal my daughter. This woman was influencing the people around her. As a matter of fact, I think that's why Mark includes it in his gospel, because of her great answer to Jesus' questions, and in so doing, influencing those good Jews around her, that they could hear her response. And my urging was simply to mothers, to all the women of our church, to not underestimate the power of their influence. I don't know any mother who doesn't feel as if they could be better and wish they could do both of those things. But you're doing a better job than you think you are. You're providing more influence than you think you are in positive kinds of ways. And the most positive things you can influence is vision. You can give your children a vision of what they can be and a vision of who God is in ways nobody else can do. So my urging is just to use your power of influence in some very positive ways in all the situations that you can. That's Sermon in 3 Minutes.